Now we're at the adoption of the agenda. If I could have a motion and a second for the adoption of the agenda.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
A motion by Mr. Scott, to have a second. Second by Ms. Lewis. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries for the adoption of the agenda. Okay, now we're at the adoption of the minutes. I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Mr. Sweat. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Williams. Any discussion on the minutes? Any questions? Anything that you might see in the minutes that you might have a discussion on? If not, I'll entertain, I'll ask, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries on the minutes. On the action items, approval, purchase of financial and water business systems software from Edmonds and Associates of Northfield, New Jersey for $61,635 to be installed over the next 6 to 8 months. This project is to be funded with Splosh, is my mic on? Is to be funded with Splosh 2012. It'll take about 2 months collection of the Splosh to purchase this system. Edmonds was selected after a review of about 10 vendors and full interviews with the 2 finalists. This is the comprehensive financial and business software for the city. The city must upgrade and replace the current business system in the next few months because the equipment and software services are being terminated. A full analysis is attached under tab 1. Y'all had a chance to look at this, and I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Okay, motion by Ms. Lewis. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Sweat.
And that will be with, if, hopefully that Al can,
Negotiate.
do what you can, Al.
Yes.
Okay, you have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's approved. The approval of the purchase of the financial and water business system has now been approved, Mr. Allen. Authorized credit cards for the following: for the theater account, the credit limit's $2,500, and for the police drug account, credit limit is $2,500. And the reason for this is just it's better accounting for Ms. Yvonne. And it's just, instead of about 4 steps of accounting, this narrows it down to 2 steps. So I'll entertain a motion on that. Okay, a motion by Mr. Sweat to have a second.
I second.
Second by Mr. Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Motion carries. I didn't hear any opposed. Anybody opposed? The motion carries. Okay, approval to issue a request for proposal for the annual internal auditing services for all city accounts in accordance with the Georgia Department of Audits and Accounting Standards and the governmental audit standards issued by the Comptroller General of the United States. So you have heard, does that require, any discussion on this? This is request for proposal
For the
annual external auditing services.
Is that what Ms. Deborah normally does?
Yes.
And that is, now from my understanding, this is something that's demanded of us to do?
Well, it's a request for a external auditing, for an auditing program. What I would like to see us do, if there's going to be a change, I would like the opportunity first to talk to Ms. Deborah Yantz, who is one of the partners in the firm. Alan, I would like to have the opportunity to speak with her before decisions made on this if y'all were in agreement with that.
I'd like to table this. Second thing is too, I think our city clerk should have an input in this here because she's the one that's got to live with it. If she's happy with it or she's not happy with the audit, if she's happy with the audit, we don't need to bring havoc in there possibly.
Hey, are y'all in agreement to that?
No,
I am.
I'm not.
I'll make a motion on that.
Okay, we have a motion to table it. Is that what your motion is?
I tell you what, I make a motion to, for what I'm concerned, to stay with the audit that we got. Let me just see if I can clear this up here. Ms. Yuan, are you satisfied with the audit per people that you use?
I am. The reason why even more so is because if we're gonna do new software, okay, that's gonna create havoc right there at the end of the transition there. And to have a new auditor come in at that time is not gonna be good for me.
I think that's right.
Then I make a motion to stay with the audit we got for another year.
I second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Do I have any discussion on that? All in favor say aye. Okay, any opposed?
I vote aye.
Okay, that's a 3-2.
Can I say why? I'd
Sure.
like to sit right here, I don't want, I say it to his
Sure.
face. The reason I would vote no, Larry, is if, let's just say Robert Goodman come down here, the county auditor, and presented himself like you do to the county, I suppose that's what the city does, how long do you think the county would employ him? Not very long. It's the reason I voted against him. I have nothing personal against Larry, nothing of that, but I feel like most of his concern is with the county, not the city. And that's my reason.
Anybody else want to say anything? Okay, we'll move on. That was a 3-2 vote. Approval to approve the automobile and travel expense policy for the city manager. Basically, in lieu of purchasing a vehicle by the city, the proposal is to compensate at the rate of $50 per week, and I think that was changed to, what was that changed to, Ms. Yvonne? The
200 bi-weekly.
100 bi-weekly.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Al's coming out of this one way or the other.
Is it safe to say 200 a month?
Why don't you just take the
No,
52 weeks
yes,
times
this
50?
bi-weekly, you're gonna have a third week in there twice during the year. So, 100 bi-weekly would work.
Okay, that's 100 bi-weekly. Do I have a, and this is, to furnish a vehicle for travel in Bacon County for travel to other communities for city business purposes outside of Bacon County. The mileage reimbursement is to be 50% of the IRS, which is 25 cents per mile effective March 1st, 2017. Do I have a motion on that?
I make a motion that we accept.
Motion by Mr. Hughes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Lewis. Any discussion on this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries for $200 a month for the mileage on the city manager, for the city manager. Okay, for your.
I'd like to make one observation, and that is, if you go back to the long tradition of furnishing a car would cost at least, a vehicle would cost at least $20,000. If you use a 5-year period, this would be a compensation of $13,000 a year, so I think it's a better program for the overall, for all parties.
Thank you for that. Okay, for your information, city code charter and code of ordinances for 2012 are available in the clerk's office. If you have anything you'd like to look up, that is available with Ms. Yvonne, our city clerk, sir.
Yeah, it was recently realized at the Coffee Municipal Code, these were shipped in 2012. We have 12 copies. Basically, I want to get on the record, they belong to the clerk. She'll check them out like a lending library, but she also has the task of keeping them supplemented when we have changes, and there'll be one coming. But a heroic project was done back in the 2011 and 12, and it came out this. We just finally were advised that they were here and had never been unpacked, and so we want to make them available, use them, and of course, one goes to the library, the law library, and one stays at the different offices that are interested. Any of y'all that want them, if you have an official need for it, that's fine, we check it out, and then when you need supplements, you'll call them back in and get that updated, so they stay current.
And I would like to say the librarian is Amanda.
If you want to, just get on Unicode and
Should be the one
it's there.
Yes, you can print it out, but this is blue books that are bound that I did not know about them.
No, I
knew
should have,
it
but
was
I didn't.
update, but I did not know, but anyway.
Yeah, I definitely should have.
everything on the computer.
You're in full compliance with state law. State law says you shall publish one for the general public, and you shall also, if possible, have a bound, annotated code, as we now do. We always have, it's just more available,
Thank you.
and it's a very good shape.
Our streetscape project bid opening will be at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, March the 8th. If anyone would like to attend that meeting on the streetscape project, that's between Church and Number 1, US 1. Georgia Cities Week is April the 22nd to the 29th. The spring cleanup and a variety of activities are being planned. And I'd like for us to really play this up, possibly for March and April as a cleanup, because this is Georgia Cities Week, and we'd like to conclude with several events, and one being possibly opening the Ag Center, and
Farmers market.
Farmers Ag. Also, the animal shelter, I would like for that to come to a conclusion. And, there's work being done at the theater inside the lobby. I would definitely like for that to be complete as soon as possible, because it's creating a problem with getting the people in and out. Honorary street names for Martin Luther King Jr. Drive are scheduled to be recognized in the near future. Veterans Parkway is scheduled for Memorial Day, May the 29th, and Al's got the signs for you to see. Any question on that?
I'll be getting back to the day before Martin Luther King died.
So,
The
It won't take work.
Veterans Day is, we like to talk to that group and be part of their ceremony on Memorial Day. There'll be 3 of these placed. These are honorary signs, they're not street name and street address signs, and that's why they're different. There'll be 3 of them placed on Church and at Glen and along the 11th Street Parkway. And then M.L. King, they'll go from 12th Street all the way down to on Bede Street, all the way from the north end to the south end, and then we're ordering some extra ones once we've got to see what these are. We'll have that are all completely spelled out, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. They'll be about as long as one of these desks, and they'll be put up, one at the park, and they're double-sided, and one over on the school side, so people that are driving down 32 at that speed will be able to see them comfortably and know that that's what those are named as an honorary. And for me, Bernita and Rosie will let us know the date that they want to do this. Is that a good summary of it?
was nice.
Thank you. Okay, Alma Pack EIP, you've heard a great deal about that, or some at least, I'm sure. Alma Pack's expanding, and their EIP grant sewer project public hearing will be 10:30 on Tuesday, March the 7th. The release of funds by Georgia DCA, then ad bids for opening will begin. So that's a good project, we're moving right along on it. GFA loan grants to finalize this summer, will be finalized this summer. Water well, tank, and water lines are the key elements of this project. Al, would you like to add any of that on the Jeep loan and grant?
Yes, ma'am, we have to go through the final. EPD is in the process. You've seen in the newspaper an ad about any comments that anybody would have be mailed to Georgia EPD. That's a 30-day comment period. Then they'll issue a construction permit and an operating permit for us to move forward. And that water tank, about 500,000 gallons, is expected to be located somewhere in the vicinity of Michigan Blueberry, the schools down on South US 1, wherever we find the appropriate site, and there'll be a well there. And then major lines will come back and reinforce to build up to strengthen our transmission system and balance our water pressure. Because our two tanks are downtown and to the west, and this will balance more in the south and into the east.
The location is what I was interested in, everybody knowing about. Okay, now we're down to the department monthly reports, police and city court. Chief?
Tab 11.
Tab 11, I'm not gonna discuss every one of these numbers individually, I'm just gonna highlight a few of them. With the crime stats, what I'm gonna highlight for the month of February, in contrast to February of 16, ag assaults were down 33%, burglaries down 29%, vehicle thefts down 67%, which gives you an overall, in part one, of a 13% decrease in crime in Iowa. Unfortunately, part two crimes are up 14%. You'll never have a consistent downward spiral when it comes to crime. It just fluctuates like a roller coaster. But the good news is that the most serious of the offenses is down. February of 17 compared to 16, we've experienced a 29% increase in drug enforcement, 100% increase in DUI enforcement, with an overall increase in arrest of 108%. Detective Cody Phillips led CID with investigative cases and arrest, with Officer Zachary Sorrow, our K-9 officer, taking lead with uniform patrol. The Allen Police Department acquired 88% of all arrest warrants. You guys won't have this. This is a number I'm throwing out at you that I got from Judge Boatwright. We got 88% of the arrest warrants that were issued by Judge Boatwright's office in the month of February on felony arrest. 61% of the misdemeanor. So where's that in real numbers? Judge Boatwright's office issued 25 felony warrants. APD secured 22 of those. Judge Boatwright issued 18 misdemeanor warrants. APD secured 11 of those. Of the 22 felonies, 13 of them, over half, were drug offenses. And of the misdemeanors, of the 11, 2 of them were also drug offenses, so 15 total drug offenses. You combine the felony and the misdemeanor together, so 77% for APD versus the sheriff's office or any other state agency that might get arrest warrants through Bacon County Magistrate Court, with 35% of those being drug violations. We are in the process of acquiring a new K-9. We didn't discuss this in workshop. K-9 that we had, Raider, when I got here, he had become not much more than a pet. So I've located what I believe is going to be a very, very good and very active K-9 that will be purchased from asset forfeitures. Basically, drug dealers that have been arrested since I've been here are going to buy us a brand new drug dog, which will also include the cost of training the handler and the dog as a team. I look for this team to be 100% functional within 2 to 3 weeks, and that's what the trainer is telling me. So certainly by the end of the month, we will have a working K-9 team again. Raider has been retired. I have offered him to the last K-9 handler that we had. I know we'll get home, be treated fairly, and she wants to take him. As of right now, though, he is out at the animal shelter waiting for her to make arrangements so that she can take care of it.
How many years did he serve?
I think the city acquired him in 12. Is that
That's
correct?
correct.
Okay, so almost 5 years. And as, if I'm not misinformed, the city didn't incur any costs with the dog, just in the training. The dog was given.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
One last thing on traffic accidents. There wasn't that many for the month of February, but I will reiterate, South Pierce Street is still where Alma experiences the majority of its accidents. When I say South Pierce, from 12th back to the city limits. Most of it, I believe, is people just not paying attention when they pull into traffic or get off the roadway going into a parking lot because you got 5 lanes of travel. The folks just getting in a hurry, just not paying attention. Traffic accidents or crashes, the state actually started calling them crashes years ago. We experienced most of them at 1 in the evening, or 1 in the afternoon, 2 in the afternoon, and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Any questions about any of this information or any of the information in your packets?
Is there any particular location where the crashes is on it?
All our software calculates is just street. It doesn't calculate it by block. I don't know if that's something that I can speak with the writers of the software to see if they can fix that or not. I'm not sure because some of the software, and Mr. Allen and I have spoken, we're working with the company now, trying to fix some glitches with the software that we have, and basically offering the last opportunity to get it right before we start looking for other vendors that can provide us with more accurate software. Because there are some forms I can pull up, and the numbers don't always add up. But the numbers that I've given you is what is submitted to the federal government in uniform crime reporting.
Thank you. And I would like to ask you something. I've had many complaints, more than 5 complaints, and you probably have the same complaints as I've had on Douglas and 4th Street Extension. And of course, Douglas is all the way down to the end, like going to the school, especially in the mornings. So if there's some way that maybe you could possibly check that. I'd
The
appreciate
problem that
it.
we have with morning traffic is usually you just have one officer out unless code enforcement's able to help. And he or she has to focus their efforts at the elementary school because the school's on. So it hinders us in blanketing the city with traffic concerns. You have 2 officers down on South Pierce, US 1, handling traffic for the high school and the middle school. Officer McCall, when he's doing a traffic duty, he's usually doing it somewhere around Townsend, if not on school property with the influx of traffic coming and going from the parents that drop their children off. It's just hard to be everywhere at the same time.
I understand. However, would like, if it's possible, maybe one morning to check that, the Douglas area, the 4th Street Extension.
I can pass it on. It'll
Thank you.
really just depend on circumstances for the day.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Chief, I got one question for you. Ms. Lewis would like to come up with an idea about the dog's name, just in case it got after her. She'd like to be able to call him off. So do you have a name for the dog?
Well, he's actually a she.
A she?
And I'm not sure what her name is because at this stage, I'm not sure if I can pronounce it. We might have to look at renaming the dog. I'm not sure.
Okay, appreciate it.
It is a foreign animal. They usually come with nifty names. I'll look into that though.
Thank you. Okay, next we have code enforcement.
All right, for February 2017, property maintenance, we have 1 animal control case that's still active. 110 West 15th Street. I had 1 case at 208 North Dixon Street, which that's been cleaned up. as of today. We've had one house demoed and the lot cleaned up on 520 East 15th Street. That was a house that was destroyed by fire. That lot's now been cleaned. We served one trespass warning at 312 Allen Street. Subject was taking the Lions Club trash can and using it every week. So I think we got that complaint solved. And on building and zoning, we only had one electrical inspection at 202 West 20th Street. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, Public Works.
We had 24 loads of limbs hauled to our landfill. There was 10 hours of sweeping time, which is an average of about 52 roads. Only mowing the right-of-ways, the grass hadn't started growing yet, so we ain't been doing that yet, but it'll be starting soon. On the signs, there was a misprint. There was actually 82 signs changed out, and Kerry, well, everybody knows about Peanut, him and two trustees have started changing signs, and they got everything from B Street all the way up to Wayne Street and over to 32. That's Townsend Lane, Crosby, Taylor, all around Glover's area, all behind the elementary school. They got all that completed. We repaired 2 holes in the road where we fixed a water leak. The one inmate crew's been cutting grass around the treatment plant, the cemetery, and parks. The other one's been helping the crews at the shop, building an extra bathroom for the inmates, so they ain't using the same restroom as the employees. Actually completed that today. We pumped 13.9 million gallons, treated 20.2 million gallons. There was 8.4 tons of sludge hauled to Broadhurst. They sprayed 25 gallons of Roundup around the courthouse and different areas around town. The contractor actually changed out 34 of the new meters so they could get the program done for master meter on a new software. And we fixed 5 water leaks and unstopped 7 sewer lines.
Thank you.
Right there in front of my house,
Today?
banding something. What was that?
Do what now?
At the street sign, what were y'all doing there
When today?
yesterday?
I wasn't there yesterday. Now, we was there today, me and George Power was looking at that intersection there to see if we could lighten it and get it brighter.
No, I thought they were messing with the sign.
No,
Now, last week, they replaced all the signs in that area to the new ones. They got the small square posts that are galvanized.
Yeah.
yeah, that
And
was,
all that. Now, the old signs, you'll see a few of the old signs still around. They've got a cement base, and we gotta go buy
It
them.
sounded like the world's coming to an end.
But was that?
that was probably them driving that post in the dirt and putting the new post on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The turn arrow at Radio Station Road.
Still waiting on DOT. They got it on the list to do it, but who knows when they're gonna do it. But it has been approved to be done, but we're waiting on them.
While we're on that, we sent our request for Dixon Street to be converted back to a local public street from 32 all the way to US 1. It's been approved in Jessup and sent to Atlanta. They said it could be 90 days before you hear anything. And they have approved the turn arrow on the southbound lane at Floyd Street, Radio Station Road, US 1. But that's just in the middle.
Okay, next is the Bacon Theater.
Yes, ma'am. We're entering our slowest period, and you can see that on the revenue. We had a good period, and they had some good movies that were attractive in January. But we moved from 7,500 in January down to 3,300 in February. We also hope that by this month, when we get the concession counter installed and all the plumbing and electrical is what we're waiting on at this point, that ought to help improve sales per movie. But it also has to do with which kind of movies are out that are attractive to our market. And it's also, there's just a seasonal fluctuation to when people go here.
I think the past weekend with the Shack was a pretty good weekend. I think there was 113 on Friday and 91 on Saturday, and I think 60, maybe 60, 61 on Sunday. So the Shack, and our next one would be Beauty and the Beast. So is that correct?
Shack
So we're
plays again, and then
We're hoping to have the concessions in place.
Shaq's gonna play again.
play again this weekend and the following weekend's nationwide opening for communities.
Right, that gives us almost a week and a half to get everything completed, hopefully. Okay? Now we're to city attorney's report. Mr. Davis?
I believe the only thing I have it would constitute discussing the future acquisition of real estate, so I
Okay.
think it needs to be in the
Okay,
executive
so
session.
we'll
The
take
vote-
it,
the
we'll
vote-
take-
The vote may need to be.
I think, didn't you submit the resolution for adoption?
Yeah.
That's under, I think, was placed actually under tab 18.
Yeah, and I need to,
And we probably need to adopt it so we can start the ad.
well, I understand I've got it, and then if we could bring that up, and
Well, we need, if you're gonna adopt it, we need to do that in public session, don't we?
yeah,
Okay.
but there's a couple of things I want to need.
We're already scheduled for an executive session to talk about those other things. If we want to adopt this resolution, it'd be,
No, I understand.
it's a good time for us to move forward on adoption. It's
Well,
just a,
No, I understand that. There's a couple of things I need to discuss with all of y'all before the council votes on whether to adopt it.
Okay.
Yeah, not trying to argue the point. You're absolutely right. I
we
mean,
can adopt it when they come out of executive session.
right,
again.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that sounds convoluted. I apologize, but I'll try to make it
I misinterpreted how to put it on
No,
the agenda.
I know that sounds like I'm going around my elbow to get to my knee, but I'll make it clearer, I think.
Are we going to skip the resolution on the condemnation?
I further return to that.
Do we need a motion to proceed on the condemnation with a resolution from council?
Yeah, that's part of what I need to talk to y'all about on the executive session.
So,
Yeah,
we need
and then
to-
come out
Thank you. Okay?
Al makes perfect sense about that, doing it one and then the appraiser, but there's a couple of things I just want to discuss
Okay.
with the council before.
Thank
we do
you.
it.
Okay, city manager's report.
Yes, ma'am, if you look under, we did a lot of this in work session, but if you look under tab 19, the drop-off center, it has performed very well, and I'll summarize that. We've had 3 weekends, it's off to a roaring start, we're averaging about 25, 23 people per week, and they're filling up the 2 dumpsters. There's a 20-yard and a 30-yard dumpster there, and we're getting about 50 yards of trash every week. So we've had 71 visitors and 150 yards of trash, the brown goods thrown out in 3 weeks. This is a report that over the year shows how the year goes. We're off and running to a good start. Seems to be a lot of enthusiasm by the general citizens for it.
Very good.
I know the county will miss having all that stuff in the woods. What's Charlie? Okay. Regarding the master meter, well, the contractor has gotten into our situation. We sent him to about our most challenging neighborhood when he first started. He's found out there's more to it, and so he said really he wants to bring his A-team down here, and they'll be available about the 15th of April, and it ought to take about 15 to 20 weeks to do it. And so we're going to back up and reset. We had said it's set, so we'll start on the last weekend of February, but we'll change the report and everything else, but it's underway. The software has already been installed, at least 34 meters, 33 of them are functioning and reading, 1 was vacant. But the system's off to a good start, and the interface with TVS and master meter, all the computer stuff is working well, and they've got those things debugged and everything. And so we're optimistic we're going to be off to a good start this spring. The next one is the Water Business Office. You get the monthly report that shows how many meters are active. You get how many were 60 days late out of the 1,700 customers. 108 were January, and that's the Christmas report, but then it dropped to 95. But in that time from when we send out the 60 days, and they're on the cutoff list till they run on in here and pay before we actually physically cut it off, it dropped to 34, from 95 to 34. And then we started adding, okay, how many have we sent to the collection firm? I want to point out, to date, as of the first of the year, we'd sent 452. We'd actually closed 30 of those accounts, and they'd gotten $2,000. Since the first of the year, when we made a point and focused on this, they've added 47 more that they sent to the collection agency. But this may be a time that if we get some of this other work out of the way, we focus on what's the collection agency and is it performing as we expect. But we're starting, these little dashboards are starting to kind of lead us to the right places. LMIG, the sign replacement system has started. We already talked about that from US 1 up to 32. That southeast quadrant is basically has finished. We'll keep moving north on the east side, and then we'll start on the south end and work the west side. But the whole program over the next great number of weeks will be to get the whole city and get all our signs updated, get rid of a lot of these 15-year-old faded signs and get them in better shape. I want to say that 911, EMS, 911 is working with us very well. They also understand, they take responsibility for the street name signs for your mailing address. And they said they work with us when we have to have some replaced or fixed or whatever else comes out of that as their part. And also with the meter program and also with this about getting all the rest of our property addressed. There's a number of vacant spots that are not properly addressed, and that'll show up in this meter work and this other. They said no problem, they'll GPS it and map it so it gets into their computer system. And we're off to a good start there, and their support is much appreciated.
Thank you.
The other is time, you'll see under one of the tabs, we have some streets that we already have designated that recommended need paving, but this is the month for y'all to give us your list of streets to nominate. So we can put together, DOT will be calling us pretty soon for a list. We need to have those, kind of give you a recommendation of what we can do in stages. But roads need attention, put them on the list, let us know. Not a thing wrong with building a multi-year list.
I think I talked with you this morning, Alan, since Charlie's here, I'd like to reiterate it. I had some issues on Cumberland Road with the driver's ed students. You come up the hill or go down the hill, one of two, and when they're driving, there's not proper lines there.
Striping,
I'm sorry?
striping.
Striping.
Yeah, here come, Marty should put a strop. He
So
put a
now
strop
that-
back out there. He
so-
ain't finished that yet.
Cumberland Road, I think is the lead on that is the county, is that correct? And we follow suit with that.
Yeah, we ain't through with it yet.
Okay.
He got to address the sides on it where he got some erosion.
Okay,
Then he'll come back and strop.
okay, thank you so much for that, Charlie, I appreciate it, thank you. Okay, so we're finished with that. Okay, does council have any issues they want to discuss at this time?
I would like to find out the update on when the city and county met. I think the county and the city approved to have a round table. Al, I think you was on it, Mr. Taylor, you was on it. Speaking, was you on it? Who else?
Alan, myself, from the city, and then,
The chairman,
sir?
the chairman.
The
Chairman, okay.
Chairman and,
How's that coming along?
I met with the chairman last Friday and went over the possible scenarios I foresee and tried to outline the consequences of each one of those, if you go one way, the other, and all that, and what the consequences are for all of us. Because there's no home run. And he asked for a little more time, took some documents. But as far as sitting down and having a firm negotiation, that's up to the full committee to get together. But he and I have been trying to get together and just to go over some background. And so I expect that there'll be a meeting arranged in the near future.
anybody else got anything?
Mayor, I apologize to look so incompetent, but I left something I need right at my office desk. It'll take me 2 seconds to dash there and back, if you don't mind. I
Okay.
sincerely apologize. I've got too much
Okay, I'll go ahead.
educated beyond my intelligence, I believe.
I'll let everybody know our next meeting will be Monday, April the 3rd, 2017, at the mayor and council meeting room. So we'll look forward to seeing y'all back at that time. And now I'm going to ask that we, for a motion and a second, go into executive session. Ms. Lewis, to have a second? Second by Mr. Swett. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried to go into executive session.